Welcome to Hard Times 3 review. Now guys, as you know, I haven't seen the product in months, and I'm doing this now for new people that are watching me, hiya, and people know me. I haven't seen the product maybe over nearly 5 months or a little bit more than that. I've not either had the time to look at it, or there's been some type of obstacle that's been in my way to make it difficult, to almost frustrating that I couldn't watch the product. In fact, those obstacles are still in the way right now. So if I wanted to see NWA after this, I probably won't be able to see it because there's always something I got to do or there's some type of problem I got to deal with. So when I went into this, I wasn't sure what I was going to find because I don't know what's been going on in the storylines. I don't know what's been going on with most of the people there. Some of the people are actually forgotten because it's been so long. So going in here blind, most of my memory kind of fuzzy. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about this. And I will try and remember to tell you how I felt before each match. If I remember. But honestly, I didn't know what was going to happen. Now, was the show good? It wasn't bad at all. But I will say this, and I botched earlier because it's the second time I'm filming this. If you watch that show, there was a lot of ass being shown. Doesn't matter if it was a man or a woman. Whoever was running the camera did not want to move. There are certain times when you're a cameraman that if you know that you can't get a good shot of what's going on in the ring, you move. You move. Whoever the hell that was said, by hell or high water, I ain't moving my ass nowhere. They better just get out of my damn way. And either I saw the ref's ass more than the wrestler's asses, no matter if it's a man or woman. So that was stupid. Honestly, why? But that's generally what was the major problem that I had. That there was one cameraman that just did not want to move, and he didn't care if he got ass shots or not. He was going to stay his ass where he was. Here's another issue. The fans. And I believe it was New Orleans, Louisiana. They were quiet most of the time. I don't believe that there wasn't enough mics in that arena. They were mostly quiet. Now, doesn't mean they were enthusiastic, but they didn't really make a lot of noise. I'm sorry. Unless somebody was there and showed they were really loud, what you heard was not a huge amount of people. And it's not because there wasn't enough people in there. It's just that they weren't cheering that much. So that didn't help the show. But let's get to the... I'm just going to roughly go for the kickoff. Did I like the kickoff? Well, when it came to Anthony Andrews going against Mims, I didn't know what was going on. I was glad to see Mims. I didn't know who Anthony Andrews was. But they were going for the #1 contendership for the TV title. And I'm going like, okay. The last thing I remember, Tyrus was currently the champ. So I guess this was going to be a setup for him to deal with Mims or Andrews. And Mims won. There you go. I didn't really have a good or bad feeling because I didn't know what was going on. Then we got a Wildcat tag match because of a promotion called Wildcat Sports. Came out, what, in 2011? So they've been around 11 years. I can't say if they're good or not, because it's the first time I ever heard of Wildcat Sports. And this was supposed to be their 11-year anniversary, so they worked with the NWA, and they were going through Evolution, I believe, an Evolution tournament or something after this, tomorrow. So I don't know what that is, and I don't even know if I could see it, and I don't even know if Wildcat Sports is even good. But if it was able to be seen, maybe I might watch it, but I doubt I'd do a review, just out of curiosity. But we got the Slime Session versus, who were they? Slime Sessions versus, I don't even know who they were. The Gimp and Sal Renaro. Watching the match, seeing Sal was nice. Particularly, I believe he was on SmackDown when he got destroyed by Omos. as I said before, I believe the guy that was there looked like Sal Renaro. And he, I'm sure, was tickled pink that he got that one possible opportunity just to be on the WWE roster temporarily for enhancement talent. So he had probably had a moment, counting if he hasn't done it before. But here, he got a chance to go after the Wildcats titles. Not saying that was good or bad, because I don't know if there was a setup months ahead in advance or weeks, or this was just announcing it's just a match. But the Slime Session, who were the champs, won. Can't tell you if I feel good or bad about it. They seem to be very silly, and they seem to be wearing froze. I don't even know if I'm putting images. I don't think I'm putting any images in here unless they're really important. But I'm going like, they're unique. They won. They kept the title, so there you go. Then we had a hardcore team war match. So we got basically a lockdown match. Or, no, better yet, a Full Metal Mayhem match. The only thing was, we didn't have the cage. No, not Full Metal Mayhem. More like a Monsters Ball match from Impact Wrestling, where basically anything goes. But in this case, it was for elimination. So, who do we have in this show? In this match, we had Jack Stain. We had Magic Jake, who had to be replaced by Alex Terry. And then we had, what is the guy's name? Mercurio. I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly. I only seen him a couple of times, and he was dealing with, what is the guy? Stanton. I can't remember his name. Stanley. So I can't remember his name much, but was it a good match? It felt more was about Mayweather dealing with Jack Steen still. I'm surprised they're still You're telling me, after what happened last year with calm down. I would have thought they move away from Jack Steen versus Mayweather. I would have thought Anthony Mayweather would be finally finished with him. But they still had their dealings. Supposedly, something happened. They were talking about it briefly from the commentary team that Jack Steen was showing some type of pictures about his wife or video on Instagram or something. And I'm going like, really? They're still doing it? Shouldn't they've already culminated and ended it from the last stipulation? It's now been going almost a year and a half or 2 years. Damn, they got nothing else better? I'm actually kind of surprised they went that far with it. Now, Mayweather won, but I'm going like, if I could start watching NWA constantly again, even if it had to be on a Saturday or Sunday, like I was doing it before, because I couldn't do it during the week. There was just no way I could do it. But if Mayweather is still dealing with Jack Steen, I'm like, that's dumb. That is a waste of time. Now, Clearwater went up against AJ Kazanin for the TV title. I'm going like, wait, what? The TV title is vacated? Wait, wasn't Tyrus still the champ? And when I saw that he was being announced for I'll explain that at the end of the show, but that was my initial bit into it, because I didn't check the website to see what the card was, because I wanted to be in it blind. So when I saw it was Clearwater, I'm thinking, there's no way he's not going to win this. There's no way. If he doesn't win this, that means they're actually going to do something with AJ. Now, they've done something with him when I was watching before, but no storylines. So unless he had been doing something like in a program where he had feuds, and I think he was part of the Country Gentlemen, I believe, this had to mean something. But I was right. Clearwater won. I was like, oh, so maybe Kazan really didn't do anything. Kind of sad, because I think that would have been nice as a legacy because of his dad, who was also a wrestler. Now, let's put it in this respect. The opening of the card, was it a good one? My baby, my girl, my I wouldn't marry that woman. And it's not because her tits are huge and her ass looks great. Not even that. Her face is kind of looks like my ex-wife's face, and it's not like I want my ex-wife. She kind of looks like her, even though she is from the Ukraine, and my ex-wife was an albino, which looked a lot like her. She's a black woman, but she was albino. I love Natalia Markova. She's a gorgeous woman, and she's nice. And she got her ass handed to her by Maxine Paler, who came up with this match. Oh my gosh. They didn't use like a coffin like the WWE would use, or AEW used. They used one that looked like an actual coffin that you would actually put inside of and be buried in. And I'm going like, well, that's an interesting twist. And then you see the Sinister Minister, the Father Mitchell there. And he's allowed to do things because this is a no DQ kind of a match. Because you can do almost anything you want. And I'm going like, well, is anybody going to be helping? What are we exactly getting here? Are we going to be getting anybody helping Natalia? Or is it going to be all of the Sinister Ministers, all of the members of his faction? Because I can't remember the name of it right now. And I'm going like, there's got to be somebody. And that's what I was thinking through at least the beginning of it, until the match was getting halfway through it. And I forgot all about that. And I'm going like, damn, this is a rough-ass match. And I got to say this about Maxine Paler. I know you're not going to believe this, but if you take all that makeup off and get her into a regular dress, the way she looks, she probably looks really cute. Weirdly enough, I've always been a judge of character. And the way she looks, she has that kind of young girl look, weirdly enough. So if she looked normal, my feeling she's like someone who's has a young personality. But that young personality didn't change anything when she tried to chokeslam her through the damn casket when she got dragged up all the way to it. And Sal was in the damn casket. He was in it. And what do we get? We get Markova basically put in the coffin. End. But what does this mean for Maxine Paler? I don't know, since I haven't seen what's been going on with the show. Let's move on. Next, an MLW match. We get again Davey Richards with the Openweight Championship. And we get Kobe Carino. And he looks... Guys, Kobe looks weird without a mustache and beard. He's got a mustache now. Just a mustache. He looks so different. He looks weird. It's still Kobe, but weird, man. I'm used to him with a beard and mustache that keeps him from looking young-like. And he looks so different. He kind of looks like the guy from Maverick, Goose's son. He kind of looks like him. If you haven't seen Maverick, he kind of reminds me of him because of how his mustache was. Excuse me, allergies are still screwing me. This weather's drove me insane. But, was it a good match? Hell yeah, it was a very good match. I'm not the type that likes high flying and high impact, but we got a lot of wrestling and a lot of impact. I like that in strategy. In the end, I was not surprised Davey was going to win here. There's no way Davey is going to lose here. And just in case one of my subscribers is going to say, dude, after this, dude, you seen MLW yet? I said, no. I've had no time to look at MLW. I'm not being mean to you, but I haven't had time. If I have not been able to watch NWA, understand, when I looked at NWA compared to MLW, there is no comparison. NWA was better than MLW, no matter if you like it or not. And I'm not trying to make you pissed, but it was better. That's the truth. So I have not even had a chance to see MLW, let alone NWA. If I ever get a chance, I'll try and see either one of them. But I'm going to tell you right now, if MLW has the same garbage, I'm going to tell you it has the same garbage. You can like it though. And I'm making it clear to anybody. You can love or like any promotion. But as a wrestling reviewer, I'm going to tell you brutally, I'm going to be brutally honest to you. If you love it, no problem. But if it's got lighting problems, if it's got sound problems, if it's got camera problems, if the promos suck because of the work in the back, they can't film anything, they don't got good lighting, or better yet, the wrestlers suck, I'm going to tell you whether you like it or not, because I'm a brutally honest reviewer. Sorry. Now, it was interesting at the end of it because Kobe was so disappointed. He looked like he was face, but he's still Kobe. He was asked to shake hands. Everybody wanted him to shake hands, and that was the loudest the crowd ever got. But he rolled out. Basically, he was doing this, even though he didn't do this. You get my point. But it was interesting to watch. But what wasn't interesting to watch was hilariously weird. I wish I had been watching the product to see why Rodney Mack, working with Aaron Stevens, put on a question mark mask and was posing as a new question. And then you see Kratos with another question who's supposed to be the original question's brother from the country that he came from, because I can't remember right now what the damn country was, and now they have a mask versus mask match. What? What? What the fuck did I miss? Oh my gosh, why did I have to have issues months ago that I could have watched to see if this was going to be good, bad, or great? Because seeing the mask versus mask match by Rodney Mack being a new question versus somebody else I don't recognize as the brother of the question, having Kratos as a manager, even though he wasn't a manager, and Aaron Stevens had him ejected, and Aaron Stevens supposedly is a manager with a black glove that probably is loaded, as they said in the commentary. I'm going like, what the fuck did I miss? God damn, I missed it. And I don't know if it was great work or good work or crappy work. I just don't know. But was this entertaining? Yes. Was it great entertainment? Not all the time. It was spotty. But in the end, Rodney lost. And he was ordered because there was a stipulation that whoever lost had to take off the mask. Aaron trying to save his ass. Nope. We did not see Rodney's face. Put a towel on the head, and Rodney ran off, along with Aaron running away from Kratos. I don't know what's going on between Kratos and Aaron. I know they're trying to face one another, but now you got Kratos, who's always been a badass in the ring, who doesn't take no crap from no one, is doing something entirely different. He's not just wrestling in the ring. He's doing something in the background for somebody else. Now he's, in a sense, managing question 2. And I'm going like, that's interesting. You don't see Kratos do something like that. That's interesting. Let's move on. Now, the Junior Heavyweight Championship. Kerry Martin versus a Homicide. Guys, if you guys are angry that Homicide lost the match, don't be. I'm not. When I saw this match, the first thought that flew through my head was, it's time. And that only lasted for about a minute once the match started, because I didn't think about it after that. Not until after it was over, and I reminded myself I did think it, but it had to happen. When they brought the Junior Heavyweight title back, they wanted a veteran to be the one to use that title. Well, not use it, but the title to use him. You either can make the man can be made the title. How can I explain this? The man can make the title, or the title can make the man. We got the man making the title that was brought back. We needed a veteran to make that title relevant, and that's what Homicide did. And I know, let's be honest here, NWA doesn't have the traction like it used to. So it's not like Homicide is going to bring in a lot of faces, but it's not the point. We wanted to bring prestige to the people that were watching. So that's what you got with his title reign. And yeah, he acted like a heel, and he whacked the hell out of Ricky Martin. And I liked that. Good. He acted like, let's be honest, he acted like a guy from New York who didn't give a fuck. He didn't care. If he was that rough and tough type of guy that says, Me and you are gonna fight. Oh, you got your relative over there. If that relative sticks his nose in my business, I'm gonna snuff him. So that's what happened with Ricky. He got snuffed. And in the end, yes, Ricky did get back up. He tried to be in the Sun's corner. And in the end, you got Kerry winning. Now, do I believe, and this is something that's got to be understood, do I believe Kerry is going to be a good champion? I don't know. Kerry still feels very green because he is 21. He's 21 years old. So I don't believe this first title reign is going to mean much. This happens sometimes when it comes to young talent, that when they get a title, their very, very first title reign is like a mock-up for what they can do totally wrong and what they'll start learning how, when they get their next title reign, to do a bit better. Because I don't expect him to look good at all holding the Junior Heavyweight Championship, even though Homicide did make it mean something. I'm just saying, he's got a lot of work to really learn what it now means to be a champion and to represent that champion either in the ring or outside of interviews or even going into media. That's a lot. If Billy believes in Kerry, he's not only going to have him do stuff in the ring, but outside the ring in promos and stuff recorded, and do some media work because he's got to represent the company as a Junior Heavyweight Champion. I'm just saying. Now, we got a very strange match, which I think could have been left for a Power or USA, and that's Odinson. Now, supposedly, I don't remember the guy's name. He might have gone to Dubai or something, and he was supposed to match Odinson for Hard Times 3. But he was in the air still. He left Dubai, I believe he was in Dubai, and his plane finally departed, and he was still in the air. So he couldn't be there. So the thrill Billy, what was the guy's name? Manson. I believe Manson. The Thrillbilly Manson, I believe that's his name. He won the match due to the fact that Odinson's spray in his mouth made him powerful, possibly. This is where I haven't watched the company in a while, so I don't know if there's a storyline that people think that Odinson is spraying something in his mouth when he uses that spray. So I don't know how many weeks or months they've been doing it. So I can't really say yes or no to it, but I have this strange feeling this could have been left for Power or USA. I'm just saying. Now, we got a US, because I forgot that we had US tag titles for NWA USA. Since I haven't seen the product in so long, I forgot they have the main titles and they have the USA tag titles. So the Fixers won the tag titles. And they were going up against the Spectacular. I can't remember the guy the midget wrestler and his brother and another person. I can't remember those two guys' names. I don't remember them. I'm blanking. Now, I know they did something. He did something NWA 74. I know I did a review, but I don't remember his name offhand right now. But I thought he was an interesting wrestler. And this is what I like. That you have different size wrestlers doing certain things. And when the Spectaculars were dealing, and he wasn't wrestling the midget wrestler. I can't remember his name. You guys can tell me below what his name is. Going against the Fixers, what did we get from the Fixers? Speedball Magursky wearing USA colors. And from what I understand, when Billy brought out new titles for the USA tag titles, Speedball Magursky didn't want to have them. He'd rather have the older ones because their names weren't on it, even though the old ones had a piece of tape on it. I don't know. The Fixers won, I'm not surprised. Now, Scion, I do remember Scion being national champion. And I gotta admit, he looked cool. Having that cape strung across his left shoulder. He looked like he's grown, at least in his character. Now, I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. Even though he's still working with Austin Idol, his daddy, if it's his real father. I could tell that he did seem different. His ring attire seemed to be different. His attitude in the ring was different. I kind of wish that he would work on his physique a little bit more, because he's a big guy, but I think he would look better with a better physique. Because sometimes it's not just your ring work that gets you over. Sometimes you need to really be a little more chiseled. Sometimes. It counts on the individual, because if you look at Speedball McGursky, not Speedball, Wrecking Ball McGursky, he looks the way he's supposed to, and he moves as fast as he does. He's meant to be like that, but sometimes certain people need to be a little more chiseled. And like when it came to, what is the guy's name? Dak. What is the guy's name? Dak. Depper. Maybe Dapper. I've never seen him before. Cut like out of, well, he looked good. He was cut. But the way he worked the ring wasn't that good. Doesn't mean he wasn't really good, but this is the first time he's seen him, and it looked like he wasn't that great when it came to Sion's with chemistry. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either, particularly when Scion was throwing him into one of the turnbuckles, and he looked like he was just jumping into them so he can look better when his arm was hurt. Like I said, some people, they can look great, but it doesn't mean their ring work is going to be better because they're cut. Scion looks good in the ring, so now he needs to be maybe make his body look a little better so he can get a little bit more out of it. So he didn't look good after Scion hurt his arm. Idol hurt him, and then he's literally jumping into the turnbuckles well before he's even close enough to really look like he's being thrown into them. I don't agree with it. I'm not surprised Scion won. Let's move on. Now, we get the women's tag titles, where we get Pretty Empowered versus Kate and Matt. What is her name? Maxie? Maddie. Sorry, Maddie. I've seen them all before, all four of them. And if I remember, Kate and Maddie before weren't really working on the same page, but that was many, many months ago. So I thought, well, they're a tag team now. They're going after Empower. I don't know what a Hex is. So maybe they might be winning it, counting on if they have any storyline dealing with Pretty Empower. No, they didn't. And now they have some type of attitude towards one another because of what happened at the very end, where they basically fell apart and then they lost. And now they're at odds again. So I'm not surprised Pretty Empower won. But the question I got, and you guys can tell me below if you've been watching the product, do they have any other tag teams other than the Hex, Pretty Empower, and these two girls? Because since I haven't watched, I don't know if there's enough women to keep doing this, unless they've been feeding Pretty Empower women from outside the company that are enhancement jobbers. I'm hoping they have, but you never know. EC3 versus Tom Latimer. This was a very interesting one, particularly, I gotta say this, and this might be one of the few images I'm putting in because I thought of putting it in. Right now, I'm not thinking about it. Guys, you see that EC3 is trying to convince Tom that he needs to control his narrative, that he needs to embrace what he used to be. Not to go back to drinking again, but to embrace that he has darkness and he can harness that without being a drunkard. At least that's what he was trying to claim in his interview with May, and when he was in the ring telling Tom to hit him. At one point, as he was dealing with Tom, he goes outside, grabs a mic, and say, Tom, you're not even trying. Maybe we should get you something to drink because you're not even showing how damn good you are unless you got a few belts under you. Or better yet, why don't we get a few belts on you and then you can get into a real good street fight and show how real tough you are when you go to jail. And Tom didn't feed into it. At least until we got EC3 talking about his wife. And that is when things got interesting. But this is where I'm questioning about EC3. Is EC3 alright? Guys, here's the image in my face. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try and zoom in. Now, I'm zooming in. Look at the left side of EC3. Now, I don't know if I'm going to throw a picture when he was... I think I'll throw a picture, maybe it's right here, where you can see him, he's going like this. And you see him cut, but he has kind of like a heavily muscled, like he's got a full pack, but he looks like he's got a pot belly. But then you look at his back. Left side of his back is bulged, and the right side straight, but you can see a bulge on his left side like this. And his back should be like this. But it's like a bulge like this in his left side. I'm going like, what the fuck? Is EC3 alright? Does he need back surgery or something? What the fuck was that? What happened to him? And I'm going like, I'm in shock. EC3 has always been in great shape, but he has had issues. But he looks like he's screwed up somewhere. You guys tell me below. Now, we get the World Tag Team titles, La Rebellion versus Hawk Arieri. And this is their hometown. And also the promotion they were working at. And you had La Rebellion hold these titles for, I think, what, how many months now? Or a year? And you know that PJ and Hawk are very over. I would have thought they would have given the titles before, but they haven't. So they had a very good match, but they didn't win. It was missed in the face twice. And if I remember, Beast, what is it? Beast of 666's dad he sprayed mist into, I believe, PJ's face, and then Beastia 666 sprayed mist into Hawk's face. And in the end, that's how he won. But I'm going like, really? Don't you think the Hawks have earned a title already? At this point, if you're not going to give them the U.S. tag titles, why didn't you want to give them the world titles? Why? They could have had the U.S. titles, couldn't they? Wouldn't it have been better to have the lower tier title? If you don't want to give it to them, you want to have La Rebellion? I'm not saying I don't like the Fixers, but the Hawk Arieri, I think they earned it by now. But that's just me. We got 2 more matches, and the first one is... Let me give it to you like this. The best match of the night I saw was Kobe Carino versus Davey Richards. It was. The second best match, and that was because it was a casket match, was when it came to Maxine Taylor versus... Well, I know you're going to probably say, dude, you're in love with Natalia. You want that, don't you? You want no. Yeah, I do love her. She's a great wrestler. She seems like a sweet lady. But no, it's because it was a casket match. And it was an interesting one at that. So this one, I'm not going to say it's the best match of the night. It was the 4th best match of the night. And here's why. We got Chelsea Green, who won because I believe she beat, what did they say? That I believe she beat Angelina Love for a shot, because I think Angelina Love got the shot, or what did they say? I believe they said that Velvet Sky gave up her shot because she was never going to wrestle again and was willing to give it to Angelina Love, but then she had to face somebody, which was, I believe, Chelsea Green, I think. So we had Kylan King. We got Chelsea Green because she won against Angelina Love for the shot that was reaching Velvet Sky, and then you got Camille. This was a good match. A very good match. It wasn't great, but it was good. And in the end, Camille kept the title, and I think it's almost 2 years for her. So at this point, she is one of the most dominant women that I've seen in years hold a title. Guys, let's put this in perspective. Impact Wrestling. Yes, Taya Valkyrie, one of the longest running ones, and I love me a Taya. I don't think she is as dominant as Camille. When it came to who would be great? Sasha. I don't think Sasha was that good. When it comes to Becky, I don't think she's that good either. Yes, and I know people would say Becky had a great title reign, and I would say she was the second best because of her ring work as well as how far over she was. And then you have, yes, Charlotte Flair, who does not need to be considered because her ring work, she can only get herself over. She's never gotten anyone else over. Only time when the person who she worked with got over is because they got over on their own merit. Sasha, Asuka, Ronda, Becky, Bayley, all of them got over on their own. Even Naomi got on her own, particularly when they started doing their own after what happened in 2016, where they had one bad match, and I know for a fact that Charlotte did not want to work with Naomi again, at least until she got better, which she did, and they had those string of matches that was very damn good. But I think Camille's had the best title run that I've seen in years for the women. You know what it's compared to? Roman Reigns. She has had such a great title run like a Roman Reigns. Now, does she have the charisma of Roman? No. Does she have the rings, the mic skills of Roman? No. Does she have the persona like a Roman? No. But it doesn't take anything away from what she's done. She has been over there for 2 years almost. That means something. And then we finally get the closing of the show. And that is the triple threat of... Whew. He had a dream that came true. I believe that's the title I'm going to use. Tyrus versus Matt Cardona versus a Trevor Murdoch. Guys, when I saw this match, when it started, I didn't realize that Tyrus gave up his title because he'd already passed 7. Because the last time they faced each other, he didn't use the title to get that shot. He got it without it. So he turned in the title. So I was thinking, really? Are they really going to give this to Tyrus? That was the first thought that went through my head. The way that the match went, and particularly, Tyrus looks skinnier. Now, mind you, I'm not saying he looks great in the ring. He's still Tyrus. He's not incredibly fast in the ring. He's still a little sloppy in the ring. His stamina is not that great, but it's not like it's total trash. He's okay. He's always been okay, but he hasn't been great, particularly with his stamina, because he used to get tanked. But it doesn't mean he couldn't still perform. But I was thinking, are they really going to give this to Tyrus? Because that was the thought that went through my head, the way the match went. Because I could see it. And then he won. I think I'll flash him in my face. Might be the only other image I'm going to put in next to EC3. Holy shit. His dream come true. Guys, I'm not going to explain the match. There's no reason for me to explain the match because you got... I'll say this. Seeing Trevor to try to destroy Matt Cardona, that made sense because of what happened when Trevor lost the title originally. That turned him into the person he is today. He wanted to destroy Matt Cardona. And dealing with Tyrus is how it was as their cousins, since they're both named Murdoch. But when you see Tyrus, and if you've seen the interview that Tyrus had, he never had a good life. He'd always been treated differently because of the way he looked. His life has never been easy. And then, on top of that, he was a wrestling fan. He loved wrestling. And then he went to WWE. And he was stuck with the most freaking ridiculous gimmick that anyone in recent history had. And guess what? He got that damn bitch over as the Funkasaurus with the Funkadactyls of a Cameron and a Naomi. he got that shit over. For more than a year or two, easily, he was the most over person working with freaking A-Train and was still getting over because they stuck him with A-Train to try and make him look bad, and he still got that shit over. Whether you like him or not is irrelevant. He got that shit over. Now, did he work great in Impact Wrestling? No, that gimmick over there was not that great. It wasn't. And then when it came to NWA, the gimmick in the beginning when it came to Idol Sports Mania didn't work at first. But I got to admit, he worked his ass off to try and get the damn thing over. He spoke. He was never a great talker, but he worked at it and tried. Even if it didn't work all the time, he didn't quit. That meant something. That's the reason Billy gave him the damn title. Yeah, of course, it could have been because he's now been an author and actually did sell some pretty damn good amount of books. I never read the book, but you get my point. But still, Billy gave him the damn title, where he would have never gotten it in WWE and would have never gotten it in Impact Wrestling. Hell, he would never even got it for MLW for that matter, or AEW for that matter. They would never gave it to him. But Billy chose, after seeing all the hard work he put in for the TV title, not having to cash it in, trying to make it mean something, and working with everybody else to a certain extent. Of course, he's still more over than Clearwater or Marche Rocket, or even Church's Money, Black G's. But still, he did that shit. And he was rewarded with a title. The main title that he's going to take on to Fox and Friends. And what I think is, what's now Fox and Friends? The 5, I'm sorry. He's going to go on the 5 with that damn shit. He's going on the 5 with the NWA World Heavyweight title because he went on that show with the NWA television title. He is now the world title holder, and he will go on the 5 with that damn title if he's still working with the 5. I believe he still is. So I'm like, congratulations. He's earned it. Whether he'll keep it for long is going to be a big question. I don't know if he'll keep it for very long, because he could have a short title reign, which I wouldn't be totally surprised. But even if he doesn't, we got someone new in the title picture that you would never see. Look, Impact would have never given him the title. AEW would have never gave him the title. WWE would have never gave him the title. To see if we could get something out of him. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be great. It might not work. Or it might. I don't know. But as I said years ago, and this is something that a lot of people got pissed off about, when it came to Jinder Mahal, I didn't care about Jinder Mahal. I didn't think he was the greatest wrestler, the greatest performer, the best talker, the best looking, cut like a Greek god. No. I wanted somebody who was in the mid-card and undercard get a shot at the main title and get it and see if they can do something with it. And now, in NWA, you got Tyrus with that damn title. And I know there's no guarantee this is going to work. This could go crash and burn. Or it could actually work. I don't know. But as I've said for years, how long can you push the same people over and over and over and over again? Look what happened in WWE. Their ratings went like this. That's the reason why Triple H is in charge now, after 3 or 4 months now. Look at AEW. They have, yes, in the beginning, they switched people around and switched people around. Now they got the ones they want to focus on. But they still got a huge amount of people they could use, but Tony is not booking that well. It's up and down. And then you have Impact Wrestling that has this. They have a very few people, and the ones they have, they're not willing to switch them to do something else. They keep them in exactly the same spots, doing the same freaking thing, and anyone who comes back to the company or comes into the company, guess what? They don't stay long. They don't stay long. Why? Because NWA, at this point, is booking someone different, and Impact Wrestling is not. They're booking short term for their people, paying them to do tapings, or if they even get signed, they sign for maybe 6 months to a year, and they know, and those people coming in, that they're not going to be really utilized very well. But at least they're going to get paid. And they'll get something. And then they're gone. I give this to Billy Corgan. William Patrick Corgan, thank you. Hopefully it works. I don't know if this is going to work. This could still go down in flames because we don't know if Tyrus can actually hold that title and make it mean something. It's still a question, but we will find out. And I hope you like this or love this Hard Times 3 review. Please give me a comment below. I don't know if you're going to like this, but it's the best I can do. Peace.